Hello everybody, Steph Davis here from FlipThisWholesaler.net, where I teach you to make more money, flip more houses, and kick more ass. Happy Friday to everyone. I've got a brand new Q&A Friday video for you guys. My question this week actually comes from a coaching student of mine. I got this question via email on Monday morning, and I wanted to share this question and this whole scenario with you guys because it is a really good learning experience for those of you who are just getting started, or even for those of you who have been at this for a while. It's a good reminder. And I do have permission from Tanya, that is the student's name, to go ahead and share this situation with you guys. So this was the email that I received on Monday morning. It says, "Hey Steph, I got another call from one of my bandit signs this morning. The seller lives out of state and has a property here in Philly that she owns free and clear. She told me she needs to sell within 3 weeks so she can use the money to save her current residence from foreclosure. She says she will take $30,000 for the property, and I'm pretty sure I can sell it to that new buyer I found for at least $50,000. She's only in town for another 2 days and asked to meet me tonight to sign the contracts. I have a prior engagement tonight, so I set up the meeting for tomorrow morning. Is there anything I need to bring besides the purchase and sale contract? Keeping my fingers crossed that this one works out. Thanks, Tanya." Okay, so Tanya has this seller that called off of one of her bandit signs. This seller is the perfect example of a motivated seller, okay? She's desperate to sell her house. She needs to sell it in 3 weeks to get the money to, apparently the house that she's currently living in is about to go into, or about to be foreclosed on, so she needs that money to, I guess, bring that loan current. She needs to sell right now. She's in town for 2 days. This is a perfect example of the elusive, motivated seller that we as wholesalers are all looking for. When you get someone like this that calls you up, gives you a price, they tell you they own the property free and clear, they're only in town for 2 days, they need to sell in 3 weeks, and you are pretty sure that you can resell this property to one of your buyers for $20,000 more, you need to get your butt in your car and drive over and get that contract signed, okay? So when I got this email from Tanya, like I said, this was Monday morning, I sent her an email right back and said, you know, unless it's a wedding or a funeral or some sort of, you know, incredibly important engagement or appointment that you have this evening, you need to cancel that and get your butt over to the seller's house or to wherever the seller wanted to meet you and get this thing under contract, okay? So she did end up doing that. She canceled her, she had a dinner date with a friend. She rescheduled that and made an appointment. When she got off of work, she went over, met the seller, signed the contract, and she got this under contract for $30,000. This is so important. I don't know if you guys have heard the phrase or the saying, you can't steal in slow motion. When you've got a hot seller like this on the line and you know that it's a deal, the property's free and clear, the seller's motivated, you need to not waste any time getting over there and getting that sucker under contract, because what can happen, and this has happened to me before, unfortunately, is I've been in, you know, the same situation. I know it's a good deal. I know that I can sell it to a buyer, and I hesitate, even if it's just a night, even sometimes if it's a couple hours. You know, if a seller is extremely motivated, like this particular seller is, they don't want to sit around and wait for you to, you know, get done doing what you're doing. And a lot of times they're just going to go down the list of, you know, either, you know, go on Craigslist and look at I Buy Houses ads or in the newspaper, or a lot of times if they're in a distressed situation, they're getting letters from folks that are doing direct mail campaigns. So a lot of times, you know, they're just going to go down the list and call the next person. So you need to get your butt over there and get that signed up as quickly as you possibly can. So Tanya ended up going over there, getting that under contract for $30,000 that night. She called her buyer. She had just found a couple new buyers, actually, but this one in particular, she found this buyer. She knew what this person was looking for. This property happened to fit his criteria. She called him the next morning, and that evening, met him and signed, did an assignment of contract for $15,000. Okay, so she had it under contract for $30,000. She sold it to her end buyer for $45,000. So she gave the seller $10 down as an earnest money deposit on this deal. She, did the assignment agreement, went and signed the assignment agreement with her end buyer that evening, and she's going to make this deal is closing in 2 weeks, unless something goes wrong. Of course, things can always fall apart, but she's going to make $15,000 on this deal. So, first of all, congratulations to Tanya. I know she is watching this. She has been busting her butt for the last 3 months. She's been in my coaching program for 3 months. She's been just she started from scratch, doing everything that she needs to be doing. She, picked a farm area. She found some buyers. She started marketing. So congratulations to you, Tanya. As soon as this is closed, we'll be doing a success story. But for those of you who are watching, if you ever find yourself in this situation where you've got a truly motivated seller on the line and you know that this is a good deal, you need to get that sucker signed up as quickly as you possibly can, because if you wait, chances are they're either going to call another wholesaler or another investor and you're going to lose the deal. So, and I'm not saying, by the way, I don't want you to confuse this with me saying that, every single seller that calls you and wants to sell to rush over and go over there and try and get it under contract. This was an instance where she knew it was a good deal. She knows that the property's free and clear. There's plenty of equity in there. She's got a buyer lined up for it. So, yeah. So if you find yourself in this similar position, make sure that you get over there as quickly as you can and get it signed up. If you can't, if for some reason, say Tanya had a funeral or a wedding or something to go to, I would pay somebody, whether it be, or maybe you wouldn't even have to pay them, but your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, good friend, to go over there and get the contract signed. You could also fax the documents over, or scan and email them. But in a situation like this, I want to actually, best case scenario is myself to be over there and have them, make sure that the contracts are signed, or have somebody else go over there and get them signed. A lot of times if you, fax something or scan and email it, it can kind of get lost in the shuffle. But if you actually have somebody there with a pen and a contract, your chances of getting that signed up are going to be a lot more. So anyway, I just wanted to share that story with all of you. Hope that you learned something from this situation. And again, congratulations to Tanya. That's it for today. If you guys have anything that you would like to add, feel free to leave a comment below in the comments section. If you're watching this video on YouTube, I do have comments disabled here, but you can go over to my blog. It's flipthiswholesaler.net and leave a comment over there. Guys, have a great weekend. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.